Hi folks, Ariel over here. I'm gonna get kind of low so the camera can see what I'm doing and see me. Today I want to introduce you to another wild food foraging. For this one you're probably going to want long sleeves and gloves. It's also chilly out here. It was freezing last night. But this is something that I love to use in the spring because it is extremely high in all kinds of vitamins, even in collagen for the, I think maybe one of the few plant foods that contains collagen. Of course there's collagen in animal products. Anyway, and it's one of the first things that grows in the spring, and it grows all by itself, so it's free. Hi baby boy, hi. Hi, you gonna help too? Yeah, you don't have enough feeling through your fur. You don't need gloves. Oh, we love you. Anyway, this is wild stinging nettle. My cup. So this, as you can probably gather from the name, okay, that's enough. Hey, back up. Sit. As you can probably gather from the name, it stings. That's why you're going to want the gloves and long sleeves. If you touch this while it is raw, it's not going to kill you, but it will give you a painful, stinging, burning sensation for a while. If you need help on the plant ID, I'm sure you can Google plenty of good ID guides to identify wild nettle, but this is what it looks like when it's young. Like most things, it can change its appearance some as it matures. It's got kind of serrated leaves. You can almost see little bristles on it. That's like the little stinger thingies. And when it's really cold, it can have a bit of that burgundy shade in the middle. It does not always have that. If it's warmer, it's more of a pale green. But if you don't know what it is, look up a good ID guide. So like any wild food foraging, make sure you know what you're eating and don't poison yourself. But what I'm going to do today is actually make a tea out of this. So I just brought my big teacup out. This is totally wild and just happens to grow right behind my house here. And so I let it keep growing because I cut it regularly. So I've got plenty here. I'm just gonna cut the tops off. A few more. Stuff them in there. Again, don't touch this with your bare skin or you'll regret it for a while. And it grows prolifically. That will all grow back out into extra bushier plants because I just trimmed it. There's some more on this side, if you guys can see. I'm just going to cut a few more of those. And that is plenty for a cup of tea. So I'm just going to stuff them down in there while I still have my gloves on. Now, nettle doesn't have a whole lot of flavor on its own. It just tastes kind of like a green leaf, like nothing really good or bad, just not very flavorful. So here's what I'm going to do next. Among other things, has my mint in it, and I love the flavor of mint. And you don't need gloves for picking mint. I have several varieties of mints in here, and so I'm just going to pinch off the tops of a couple of these tallest ones. Again, mint grows prolifically, so that's all going to push back out and will grow even faster. And I'm just going to put a few tops in there. So this tea is going to mostly taste like mint, but I'm going to also get all the nutrition in there from the nettles, which are one of the first free, amazing spring, high nutrient dense foods. It's like taking a supplement. Plus it's chilly, it's like 40 degrees out here, and so hot tea tastes good. You could also cold brew this or make it hot and then cool it down if you have a much hotter area than me and don't want to drink hot tea, and make it as a cold tea. But I'm going to drink this hot. So I've got some water heating up inside. I'm going to go in and just pour some warm water over it. And so inside, if you hear any crackling in the background, the wood stove is going. I am going to just simmered some water here earlier. You don't need it, like any tea brewing, you just need it to simmer. You don't need it to be actually hot, or actually boiling. Simmering is hot. And I'm just going to pour that over all of my green leaves. And then let it steep for 10 minutes or so. I can already smell the mint smell. As I mentioned, the nettle doesn't really taste like anything to me. It's just kind of a green leaf flavor. And So that's why I enjoy adding mint, or you could do whatever else you like with it, or you could certainly drink just nettle by itself. It just doesn't have any particularly awesome flavor in my opinion. And you could certainly sweeten this with a little honey or whatever you wanted. Once nettle leaves are either cooked or dried, they do lose their stingers. So this isn't going to sting my mouth when I drink it. I'm not actually gonna eat the leaves. Probably I'm gonna let it steep till I've leached most of their benefits out of them, and then they'll just go in the compost. Though you can eat nettle, and I'll probably do a recipe or two showing you guys how to do that. But that's gonna be my cup of tea here. I'm gonna sip on in a minute. I just want to encourage you guys to, of course, make sure you know what something actually is if you're going to forage for food, and make sure it's not from an area that has been sprayed with something poisonous. I know what goes on around my house here, so I know that little patch up against the back wall of the house, and there's other places I pick it as well, but that's my handiest one. I know those have not been sprayed, but I really encourage you to, you know, a lot of people take a lot of supplements and so on, and I take a few, I'm not against that, but they're expensive, as you probably know if you take them. So when you have an opportunity to get a lot of those same vitamins and minerals and so on for free from something that's just growing, along with whatever all other plant compounds are in a whole plant, just the same reason we eat whole foods, that, you know, science hasn't even figured out what all else is in there that we don't know about. I just want to encourage you to do that. So learn about food foraging. I don't know, nettle grows pretty widespread. I mean, it grows everywhere I have ever lived, and I know that it grows in some warmer areas and even a few colder areas. So I think it grows across most of the planet. It at least grows across most of the North American continent. So maybe you don't have nettle in your area, but both nettle and mint tend to be very prolific plants that grow very vigorously. So that is how I make my fresh, vitamin-rich supplement tea in the spring, when my first nettle and mint shoots start coming through. Hi folks, Ariel over here. Thanks for spending some of your valuable time watching these videos. Hopefully you found something beautiful, educational, interesting, peaceful, relaxing, or useful while you are here. If so, find more videos here, subscribe so you don't miss any updates, and if you like what you found here, feel free to like and share away so that others can benefit as well. You all have a wonderful day.